Very good morning dear students. This video is for class 10 subject science chapter number 13 and this is lecture number 9 of chapter number 13. So this is a summary lecture. In this lecture we'll summarize the complete chapter in one video. So let us begin with the first topic. So dear students, I assume that you know about the magnets and magnetic field lines. Although we'll study it in a smaller detail, but the first topic of our chapter is that how magnetic effect can be produced with the help of current. So we have to see magnetic effect from the current, and this was invented by the scientist Oersted. He was a Danish physicist, and in 1819 he observed that when in a conductor current is flowing and a magnetic needle is placed near it, then the needle gets deflected. And we already know that magnetic needle or magnetic compass is actually a small magnet which only gets deflected because of the magnetic field of, or you can say because of the effect of magnetic field around it. That means when a current is there in the conductor, or when you can say the current is flowing in the conductor, there must be a magnetic field around this conductor which is causing the magnetic compass to deflect. So that is how it was invented, that current can produce magnetic effect as well, or you can say current can generate magnetic field. Our next topic is magnetic field. So basically magnetic field is a region around a magnet in which its influence can be felt by another magnet or some magnetic material. Or you can also say that magnetic field is the region or the space around a magnet in which another magnet will experience a force on it. This force can be attraction or repulsion. But there must be some force exerted on another magnet when it is placed in magnetic field of one magnet. Then comes the magnetic field lines. So magnetic field lines are the curves or the imaginary lines. They can be straight or curved around a magnet. They tell us that the magnetic field lines are moving, or magnetic field effect is from north towards south. We know that magnetic field line, they emerge out from the magnet at the north pole. They enter the magnet towards the south pole. If we talk about the properties of magnetic field lines, then the first property is that magnetic field lines are closed curves. Closed curves means that the magnetic field lines which are emerging up from north and entering up from south, they do not end up at the south pole. They travel even inside the material. So the direction of the magnetic field lines will be from north to south outside the magnet and from south to north inside the magnet. The second property is that magnetic field lines are there around a bar magnet. Then the tangent on the magnetic field line at a particular point will give the direction of the force, or you can say magnetic field. Let's say this is the point and I draw a tangent at this point. So this tangent will give me the direction of the magnetic field at this point. Let's say it is P. So the direction of magnetic field at this point is towards south. Third important property is that no two magnetic field lines intersect each other. Let's say we have two magnetic field lines. Then at a point they are cutting each other, and if I draw a tangent at that point, so the two tangents are giving me two different directions. At a point, magnetic field cannot give two directions because we are talking about a single magnetic field or the magnetic field of one particular magnet, and when we talk about the magnetic field lines of that magnet, then the magnetic field lines can never intersect each other because this is not possible to have two directions of magnetic field at a particular point. And the fourth property is that magnetic field lines are crowded at poles and away, or you can say diverged at the away from the magnet. Or you can say that the magnetic field strength, that is number of magnetic field lines, that is denoted by the capital letter B, is higher. Magnetic field strength is higher near the poles and it is less away from the poles. And how we can draw the uniform and non-uniform magnetic field? So dear students, when magnetic field lines are having equal distance between each other, then that magnetic field will be uniform. And if they are having unequal distances between them, then that magnetic field is non-uniform. So now let us begin with the magnetic effects of current. Till now we have talked about the magnets only. So Ørsted, who was one of the Danish scientists, he talked about the relation between the magnetic field and current. In his experiment, he found that when current is flowing in a circuit and magnetic compass is placed near it, then that needle of the compass gets deflected. Either here or here, it depends on the direction of the current. So he concluded that yes, there is a relation between the magnetic field and the current, because magnetic compass can only be deflected because of any magnetic field. That means there is a magnetic field around the conductor which causes the magnetic compass needle to get deflected. Now, how to get the direction of this magnetic field? Because if there is a magnetic field around a conductor, then there must be a direction of it. Then how to get the direction? It is given by Snow rule, or you can also call it as Ampere's swimming rule. Now let us see what is snow rule or what does it mean. So this word snow rule or this rule says that when, as we have the directions as north, south, east and west. So whenever the current is flowing from south to north and the conductor is placed over the magnetic compass. So the direction of the current is south to north and the magnetic compass is placed under the wire. So this magnetic needle will deflect towards west. Now understand the meaning of this word. This word says, this snow says that when the current is flowing from south to north, conductor kept over the magnetic compass, then magnetic compass deflects towards west. And the reverse happens when the current changes its direction. So when the current is flowing from south to north, it is deflecting towards west, and when the current will process from the north to south, then it will deflect towards east. Now why it is called Ampere's swimming rule? Because according to Ampere, when a person is swimming and the current is entering in such a way that it enters from his feet and exits from his head, then the magnetic field is towards his left hand. So if a person is swimming in such a way, then his left hand will be this way. So his left hand will give the direction of the magnetic field. So that is why this rule is also called Ampere's swimming rule. So the first main topic is that now we have to study that magnetic field. Till now we have seen that magnetic field can be produced with the help of current, and this relation between the magnetic field and the current is known as electromagnetism. The vice versa is also true, that when current can produce the magnetic field, then magnetic field can also produce electric current. This we'll see later, but let us begin with the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor. So dear students, let us do it quickly. That what we have to do, that we have a wire, we pass this wire through a cardboard and this conducting wire is connected with a battery this way. So as you can see that positive terminal is here, the current will flow in this direction. So before switching off the battery, we sprinkle the iron filings on the cardboard sheet. Then when the current starts flowing through it, then the iron filings, they take a particular arrangement around the conductor, and we see that concentric circles around the conductor are formed. So that concludes that magnetic field is formed in the form of concentric circles having the conductor as the center. To find out the direction of the magnetic field around a straight conductor, we use right hand thumb rule. This rule is also called right hand grip rule. According to this law or according to this rule, When the conductor is imagined to be held in the right hand in such a way that the thumb points the direction of the magnetic field, then the curls of the finger will give the direction of the magnetic field around the conductor. So if the current is flowing in the upward direction from now, then my fingers which are coming from the down to upward will give the direction of the magnetic field lines. That means the magnetic field lines will come from behind and towards the upward side of the conductor, and this will be the direction of the magnetic field. The reverse will happen when the current is flowing in the lower direction, or you can say that when current is pointing in this direction. So you have to place our right hand in this way that current is indicated by the thumb. Then the curls of the finger will tell you the direction of the magnetic field. So now the magnetic field lines from upward going downward, and then they are coming up. So now the magnetic field lines are in this way, that they are coming from the downward and then they are coming up. Now let us see what are the factors which affect the magnetic field strength. So the factors are, the magnetic field strength is given by the alphabet B, and the first factor that affects the magnetic field is current. Current flowing in the circuit creates the magnetic field. So higher the amount of current, higher will be the magnetic field strength produced around it. So we can say that magnetic field strength is directly proportional to the current flowing in the circuit. Then the second factor is the distance from the conductor. Let's say the distance is R. So the magnetic field strength is inversely proportional to the distance from the conductor. That means as we go away from the conductor, the magnetic strength will decrease. So there is an inverse relation between the magnetic field lines and the distance from the conductor. So dear students, we have seen that how the magnetic field lines are produced around a straight conductor. The next topic is magnetic field due to current carrying circular loop. That means that what kind of magnetic field is produced around a circular wire when there is current flowing in it. So let's say we have a circular wire in which the current is flowing. Then what kind of magnetic field will get produced around this circle? So dear students, we can assume this circle to be made up of small straight segments. Many number of small segments, straight segments can make a circle. So if the current is entering the circle from here and exiting here, that means the current is flowing in this direction. Then we can divide the circle into two halves to understand the magnetic field around the circle. The first half will be taken as the straight segment in which the current is flowing from lower to up direction, or you can say from our point of view, if it is south, then it is north. Then if the current is flowing from south to north, then according to the right hand thumb rule, we know that magnetic field lines will get produced around it, which will come from the down and they will go up this way. According to the right hand thumb rule, we know that when the current is flowing in this conductor in this direction, that means upward direction, that we have to put our right hand in such a way that thumb is indicating the direction of the current, and the current then the curls of our finger will give the direction of the magnetic field lines around the straight conductor. So the same thing happens that if we consider a circular loop into two half segments of straight conductors, then the magnetic field produced around the circular loop in this segment will be in this direction. That means you can see that the magnetic field lines, they are going inside as we are seeing the circle in the plane of the paper. Then magnetic field lines are going inside from our side. If we apply the same rule to this end, then what is happening? The current is flowing in this direction. So now the current is flowing in downward direction. So if we apply the right hand thumb rule again, we find that if this is the straight conductor and we place our thumb in this way, that the current is pointed or indicated by the thumb, then the curls of our finger will give the direction of the magnetic field lines. That means they are going up and then down. That means the magnetic field lines will come up and then they will go inside the circle. So if this is happening, then we can draw the magnetic field lines in such a way. If this is the circle, then the magnetic field lines will go inside the conductor or in the loop. So this we know already, that as we go away from the conductor, because here also the magnetic field lines are produced in the form of concentric circles, having the circular wire as the center of the circles. And as we go away from the circles, the distance between the circles increases. That means magnetic field strength is decreasing as we go away from the circular wire. So this way, in both the segments, the magnetic field lines, they are going inward when the current is flowing in this direction. What is this? This is clockwise direction. So remember that when the clockwise current is flowing, the magnetic field lines are going inward. Here, as we reach the center of this circular loop, we find that the magnetic field lines, they almost become parallel to each other. That means at the center we will have the uniform magnetic field. One important thing, that the magnetic field lines from two sides are getting merged up into the center of the circle. That means magnetic field strength will be maximum at the center of the circle. What will happen if we reverse the direction of the current? So dear students, now the current was flowing clockwise direction, then the magnetic field lines were going inward. If the magnetic field current is electric current is flowing in this direction, so now the current direction is this. So this segment will behave as this, and this wala segment is behaving as the current flowing from south to north. So here the magnetic field lines will come out. Here also the magnetic field lines will come out. So just note one thing here, that when the current is flowing in clockwise direction, then the magnetic field lines are coming out. They are going inward. And when the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, then the magnetic field lines are coming outward. Although we have applied the right hand thumb rule to find out the direction of the magnetic field lines here in case of a circular loop as well, but this rule of finding the direction of the magnetic field lines with the help of a clock face rule is known as clock face rule. We can also call it as Maxwell's corkscrew rule. So dear students, what is happening here in the clock face rule? That when you see the circular wire in such a way that the current is flowing in the circular wire in clockwise direction, then first the current is flowing upward. The arrow is indicating the flow of direction of current. Then the current in the second segment is coming down. So if we combine the flow of current, then we get a alphabet S, which resembles the alphabet S shape, and we can say, we have seen it as well, that when the magnetic field, or you can say the current, is flowing in clockwise direction, then magnetic field lines are going inward. That means this circular loop is now behaving as the south pole of a magnet. Because we know that only at south pole of the magnetic field lines, they enter up. But this is a single circle of the wire, so that is why it is hard to believe that a circle can behave as a bar magnet. The second thing can be that when the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, that we have seen that the magnetic field lines, they are coming out. And here what is happening? The current is flowing upward, then it is coming downward. If we join these, we get the resemblance of the alphabet N. That means this circular face or this circular wire is now behaving as the north pole of the magnet. We can also relate it with the word NT, that when anti-clockwise current is flowing, then there is N in the NT. That means anti-clockwise current, then north pole it is. Now why I am saying it Maxwell's corkscrew rule? Let us see the Maxwell's corkscrew rule now. So dear students, according to Maxwell's corkscrew rule, if we have the current in such a way that we have a circle in which the current is flowing, and we compare this circle having current with the screw, that when we are rotating the screw in anti-clockwise direction, then we know that it opens up or it comes outward from the wall. If we are having a wall, we are putting a screw into it and we are rotating that screw with the help of screwdriver in anti-clockwise direction, then it comes to us. That means it opens up. That means if we compare the corkscrew with the circular wire having the current, so we can say that when anti-clockwise direction of the current is there, then the magnetic field lines will come out from the circle. That we have also seen in the clock face rule. If the different, or you can say the opposite happens, that means when the current is flowing in clockwise direction, when we are moving the cock in the clockwise direction, then it goes inside the wall, or you can say the magnetic field lines will go inside the circle. So this is the corkscrew rule. So dear students, now we can conclude that the magnetic field lines generated around a circular wire or a circular loop, they are perpendicular to the conductor and they are formed in the form of concentric circles having the conductor as the center, and as we go away from the conductor or towards the center of the circular loop, then the distance between the circles increases and the magnetic field lines coming from both the sides or both the segments become almost parallel. So in a circular loop we can have the uniform magnetic field because the magnetic field lines are almost parallel to each other, and the magnetic field lines are perpendicular to the plane of the circular wire. Now let us see what are the factors that affect the magnetic field strength of a circular loop. So the first factor, as usual, it is the current. Higher the amount of current, higher will be the magnetic field strength. And how we are going to get it? That if we pass a circular wire through a cardboard, we sprinkle the iron filings on the cardboard, and when we make the current flow in the circular wire, then we see that the circular, or you can say the concentric circles, are formed around the conductor in this way. So we can have different values of current. As we go on increasing the value of current, we see that the number of concentric circles formed around the conductor will increase. So this shows that the magnetic field strength of the circular loop is directly proportional to the current. Second, magnetic field strength is inversely proportional to the radius, or you can say radius of the circle. That means larger the radius of the circular loop, less will be the magnetic field strength. So if we compare the magnetic field strength of two circles or circular loops of the same amount of the current, that means when the current flowing in the two circles is same but the shape of the circles are different, or the radius of one of the circle is different than another, then we can say the magnetic field strength will be less as in the case of the bigger circular loop. The third is the number of circular turns of the wire. That means larger the number of turns we have, larger will be the field strength. And why it is happening? Because when we are having more number of turns in a circular loop, suppose I am making it here, that so we have a wire, we make it in the form of a circle and we rotate it in this way. These circles which I am drawing are not of different radius. Actually it is the same, but just to show that there are number of turns behind this first circle or first loop of the wire, I am drawing them like this. Then the second end of the conductor will come out. So dear students, we know that in all the circles, the magnetic field will be produced in similar manner because the current flowing in the circular turns is same. That means the magnetic field lines, because the magnetic field lines can never intersect each other. If they are meeting, they can merge up. So when the magnetic field of each turn gets merged up, the magnetic field strength increases. So higher the number of turns of the wire, higher will be the magnetic field strength. So B, that is magnetic field strength, is directly proportional to the number of turns of the circular wire. The next topic is magnetic field due to current in a solenoid. So the first thing is that what is a solenoid? Actually, let's have a wire and we wrap that wire which is insulated on a insulated body. So if I wrap up the wire around a cylindrical thing in such a manner that it becomes or it takes the shape of a cylinder or a spring, this way. So now this shape of the wire is called solenoid, or the word solenoid means the pipe shaped object or pipe shaped wire. So when the wire takes up the shape of a pipe, then it is called a solenoid. If we talk about the magnetic field produced in a case of a solenoid when it is carrying current, then what will happen, or how or what kind of magnetic field will be produced around it? So if we connect this solenoid with the battery, so dear students, we know that this is the positive terminal, so current will flow in this direction and it will come out this way. So what kind of magnetic field is going to be produced? Just imagine this is similar to the circular loop, and how we are going to compare it? That just face the solenoid from this side. So now we have a scenario in which the current is going in this way. The current is entering up here, and the face on which you are placed, or on which you are seeing this circular turn of the wire, according to you, the current is flowing in clockwise direction. And according to the clock face rule, we know that when the current is flowing in clockwise direction, that face of the circular loop will behave as the south pole of the magnet. That means the magnetic field lines will go inside. If the magnetic field lines will go inside the circles, it will seem something like this. So now this end of the solenoid is behaving as the south pole of a magnet, or you can say the south pole of a magnet formed by the solenoid. Now let us see this phase. If we are in front of this phase, then we understand that the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. So we know that when the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, that face of the circle, that face of the circular wire is behaving as the north pole of the magnet. So from here, the magnetic field lines will emerge out. So now you can understand that a solenoid, when current is flowing in a solenoid, then it behaves like a bar magnet, because one end of the solenoid is behaving as the south pole where the magnetic field lines are entering, and another end is behaving as the north pole from where the magnetic field lines are emerging. So a solenoid is a kind of bar magnet. We can compare the two magnetic fields of bar magnets and the solenoid. So they are same. Now, as we know that magnetic field lines are do not end up at the south or just emerge from the north. They enter the material and travel throughout the material, even inside the magnet. That means magnetic field lines are also moving inside the solenoid. So as we have the limited space here, the magnetic field lines will be having almost equal space between them, or you can say almost parallel to each other. So when magnetic field lines are flowing parallel to each other, that means inside a solenoid, the magnetic field is uniform, but outside it is non-uniform, because as we go towards the ends of the solenoid, they are diverging at the poles. So we can conclude about the magnetic field of a solenoid that the solenoid creates a magnetic field as compared to the bar magnet, or you can say similar to the bar magnet. The magnetic field inside a solenoid is uniform, whereas the magnetic field outside is non-uniform. Magnetic field inside is higher, magnetic field outside the solenoid is weaker. The magnetic field decreases as we go towards the ends of the magnet or ends of the solenoid. The magnetic field around a solenoid, it behaves as the, or it resembles the magnetic field of a bar magnet. So depending upon the force or the field produced because of the solenoid solenoid having current in it, the solenoids can be used to magnetize the materials. So we have seen in detail that solenoids are used to magnetize the materials to make the magnets. Magnets can be made up of two types, temporary and permanent. So how do we make or how do we magnetize a material because of a solenoid? So we have a solenoid having current in it, and when we place a soft iron core inside a solenoid, then when the current is flowing in the material, in the solenoid, then it produces a magnetic field because of which this material is also getting magnetized. So if it is soft iron, it will be easily magnetized and demagnetized. So this soft iron, when it is getting magnetized, it forms temporary magnets. Or as soon as we stop the current flowing through the solenoid, it stops behaving as a magnet. That means here the magnetic effect of the soft iron is there because of the flow of the current. So this kind of magnet is called electromagnet. The another type of magnet can be that when we use steel, instead of soft iron inside a solenoid, when we place a steel rod inside a solenoid, we pass the current through the solenoid. Then as steel is getting magnetized hardly, even after passing a very high value of current, then only it becomes magnetized. Then if we stop the current flowing in the circuit, then also it is hard to demagnetize the steel, and therefore it behaves as a magnet even after the removal of the current from the circuit. So now these kind of magnets are called permanent magnets. Now we have seen in the lecture that what are the differences between electromagnets and the permanent magnets. That these are the temporary ones, these are permanent. Magnetic field strength can be increased or decreased according to the requirement. But here magnetic field strength once fixed, it is fixed. It cannot be changed. Here by reversing the polarity of the current, we can change the poles of the magnet. So poles can be changed. Here poles cannot be changed. So these are the benefits of having electromagnets. And what are the uses of electromagnets? To lift up heavy scraps of iron pieces, to lift heavy loads, or in medical line also we are using electromagnets in many of the fields. They are used in many of the devices like electric bell, electric horn, telephone receiver, electric relay, microphones, radio set, television and loudspeakers. So all these are the places where electromagnets are used. So dear students, I end up the summary lecture here only. So take it as the summary lecture part 1. Because if we cover the complete chapter here, it will become very large. So consider this as the part 1 of the summary lecture. Tomorrow we will have the part 2 of the summary lecture. Till then, take care and goodbye.